Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing well. Today we're looking at a MSI 360mm AIO. This is their CoreLiquid S360. It's their top end one. It's very similar to like the Asus Ryzen or the Corsair LCD series. Got a little IPS screen on the front, 2.4-inch display. You can put all sorts of things up there, temperatures, you can do weather and stuff, videos, GIFs. And then we'll put it into a case in the end of the video as well and give you some tests that I'm going to be running with the B660M Mortar Wi-Fi. And I'm also going to run a 12600K in it as well to just put some more heat into the VRMs and see how well it performs with that. And then we could also see how the cooler works with the processor as well. So let's get into it. So as I said, the S360 is a 360mm variant. They do have a 240, I believe, as well. So if anyone wants a smaller version, then there are options for that. So we've got some documentation. There's a little instruction guide. Here's all our mounting hardware. We've got AMD AM4. This also supports LGA 1700, so Intel 12th gen. There you go, it says on there Intel 1700. All of the mounting options and bits and bobs. Some of the contents might be a little bit different, as this is a rotated sample, not a retail unit, so just bear that in mind. So the fans, these are the MSI Silent Gale P12s, so the 12 being 12 centimeters or 120 millimeters. Nice vibration pads on the side. They feel very kind of industrial, so we shall see how well they work. Hydrodynamic bearing, pretty nice. I'm guessing these are just 4-pin PWM, yeah. So obviously 3 of those. So then the radiator had a little bit of a cardboard sleeve, just to give it some additional protection. Fairly soft hoses as well, should be able to bend those round should you need to. The tops are very clean and undamaged. It's obviously been passed around a little bit for the bottom, but as I did say, it was a rotated sample. A little bit of debossed MEG logo on there as well, quite subtle. And then the other end, we've got the pump top. So one thing I really like about this, much like the Corsair Elite series, they've got a top that comes off, so you can easily install the pump and mount onto the motherboard, and then this just goes on after. So there you go, hides all the screws as well, so much easier to deal with than trying to do it with it on there. Now, much like the Asus Ryzen, this cooler's also got a fan just above the pump, so this is going to push air down onto the VRMs and help cool those as well. I shall see if we can actually operate that separately, because it'll be quite interesting to see how much of a difference it does make to VRM temperatures. There's also our daisy chain for our fans on there, so you can put it all onto one PWM, which is nice and convenient. There's a SATA connection for the pump power, and also a USB 2 port, which is most likely going to control our screen. So taking off the plastic cover, we've got a nice copper cold plate. This will transfer all of our heat up to the radiator nice and evenly. Acetec unit, so it's a simple case of just twisting off the bracket to swap it over. So a bit of a chunky cooler, so let's get it installed into a case and see how it performs. So this is the little test system I put together. This is the B660M Mortar Wi-Fi motherboard, and then the 360 radiator in the front. Due to time limitations, I really don't have the time to build a rig with a Z690 board. I'd probably want to, test it with a 12100K ideally, but this has got to go to another media outlet, so I just don't have the time to do it, unfortunately. But this should give you a rough idea of what you can expect. I've also used the power supply from MSI, so the MPG A1000G power supply. I have tested this in Cinebench. There was a high temperature of 68, so pretty damn cool. It's been a very humid day as well, so it has been warm in the office. So that result is very good. 16,177 was the Cinebench result, 100 points or so under a 16-core 32 thread Threadripper. So considering this is a 10-core 16-thread processor, it has done a very good score. So alongside actual unboxing the cooler, I wanted to show you the IPS 2.4-inch screen that this has as well. So I've loaded everything up. We've got MSI Center loaded, and this has got all of our options for changing the things on there. I've got another camera, so you can see me change this live as well to see how it reflects from the software to in person. So this is the kind of home page you see when you first load it up. One thing I am really happy to see is the option to set the direction of this, because even Corsair, they might have changed it by now, but I know it took about 3 or 4 months of people complaining for them to actually adjust the rotation of their screen. So to be able to see that straight away is a really good thing. So here is our kind of home page. We've got options. You can change up to 5 different things that will then kind of fade out and show you a different stat. It's been rotating since I started this video, but you can see it's currently on the temperature, and then it shall go to either the pump or the radiator fan speed or anything you set. So you can do the memory frequency for your GPU, wall block fan if you fancy it, FPS counter. Some people might like that when they're gaming. If you go to the video image setting, you can either add a little video, or you could put yourself a GIF on there should you want to do that as well. You can do my classic Star Wars hello there if you fancy that. You can do the banner, which is like around the outside, and that will then change on there as well. So should you want to put like a bit of a custom graphic or something like that, you can do that. But I'm going to stick with the info for me personally. And then you've also got an option for a clock, which is quite nice. Should you want something that's a little bit more minimal. And there you go, you've got an easy to see clock. Pretty nice. You've also got live weather as well, which you can change the location on. And there you go, currently 20. It just came up with 75% humidity as well, so I told you it was humid in here today. So going on, we've got the fan settings. As I said, I used the balance for what I was testing with. I did go to the game mode, which is a lot higher of a RPM for the fans, but didn't really notice the difference in sound, especially when you've got a side panel on as well. The things I could hear more were the Corsair fans over the front one, so that should tell you something. You do have the options to customize this as well. And it says below here, system sets 20% RPM as the fan activation point, so you're going to have it at that. I couldn't seem to drag this down any further. What you'll find is you drag all the sliders, and then the last one won't go below a certain threshold. See? So you can't turn it all the way off, which is a bit of a shame, but again, you're going to have your VRM temperatures, and it's not going to make that much difference to noise, so just why leave it on. So a couple of thoughts just on the S360 before we end out the video. I love that the direction is something you see in the software straight away. Good job, MSI. The tolerances when you install the fans that come with the cooler are very, very low. Where you have the anti-vibration pads on the fans, it does mean sometimes once you put your first one in, you'll have to really push the second fan up to then allow that screw to thread. But be gentle with it, and it should go in no trouble at all. Just a little heads up for any of you guys that might be doing this for the first time. Otherwise you can mark and take off the coating of the radiator, but I mean, once you screw down that fan you wouldn't see it anyway. So does it really matter? Probably not, but something I just wanted to bring up nonetheless. And then last but not least, the performance. So as you could see, we got a high of 68 with the 12600K. I might see if I can get this back to try it out with the 12900K, really put it through its paces, especially with that higher TDP that the 12900K has. So that might be something that we look at in the future. Let me know if you'd like to see that. And then of course the IPS screen on the top, very nice. You can obviously display what kind of things you fancy on there, and it does look very good in with your RGB and things like that. So yeah, that was my look at the MSI MEG S360 liquid cooler. Do let me know what you think about it down in the comments box below. If you've got any more questions as well, I will answer them as soon as I can. I will leave the product links in the description box below if you fancy picking one up. Thank you for MSI for sending this out for me to look at, and I'll see you all in the next one.